Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and welcome to another episode of Aaron's Art Tips. Okay, so today I want to talk to all of you new graduating art students out there that are they're getting ready to go out and interview for jobs, and you're putting portfolios together. So I thought, it would be a good time to give you guys a little advice on what to put in your portfolios. I'm talking specifically to those out there that are wanting to find visual development jobs, that are looking for a studio position, that sort of thing. I was on the review board for over 20 years at Walt Disney Feature Animation, so I've looked at thousands of portfolios, and so I thought I'd give you a little advice and tell you what I always look for and what you should be adding in your portfolio. As a visual development artist, you're going to be some of the people that are creating the look of a movie. It's you guys that decide what that movie is going to look like. And so one of the first things I advise people on is that you really need to show that you can draw and that you can paint. It's important, I think, to have traditional animal drawings, traditional figure drawings, all done from life. These types of things really indicate whether or not you can draw, if you're a good draftsman or not. One of the other important things that I look for is versatility. Now, this is a big one. There's a lot of art students out there that think, hey, I can go into visual development and I can just kind of do my thing and everything's going to be great and the sky's the limit. And it's not the case. Actually, a lot of times when you come onto a film, a general design conceit, the idea for the look of that film may already be established. And so you need an ability to adapt, to change your style, to go from style to style. And let me give you an example of why that's important, because there have been times where I've seen people come onto a film and they don't really adapt to the style, and they just kind of do whatever comes out of their head, and it's all kind of willy-nilly. And what happens is we might get some good ideas that come out of that. So I don't want to take anything away from them, but what happens is that there's a lot of iterations that we have to go through in order to take that idea and pull it into the look of the film. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little bit of the design, of the business side of what we do. Some of you might not want to hear it, but I'll tell you anyway. When you have to go through all of those iterations to pull something into the design of the film, each iteration takes time. Time takes money. And at the end of the day, we are filmmakers, but we're trying to create a product. And I know people don't want to hear that, but especially if you're working for a studio, these films are made to go out and make money. And the way a studio makes more money is if the budget is lowered. If you can bring that budget down, because especially with big companies, you have investors, and those investors want to put money into the company, and they want to be able to get more money that comes back out of their investment. It sounds logical. It's perfectly logical. And so all of that is tied all the way through the production of a film. And so if you have to go back and forth trying to get the look of a film right, then that's going to cost money, and over the course of an entire movie with hundreds of people, that can add up to millions of dollars. And so, coming back to what I was starting with, being versatile in your portfolio, if you have the ability to adapt, to take your artwork and draw in the style of the film that's being created, then that's going to cut down on iterations, and it's going to cost less money. You're going to be a hero because you're already adapting, and you're going to be used more often on a film, from film to film, I should say. So you'll be in demand. Versatility equals demand. You will get more work, okay? And I guarantee it, because I've used a lot of people that could change their style. They would come in and work on my films, or I have the ability to change styles, and I was able to jump from film to film. Okay, so versatility is a huge thing. Also, in your visual development portfolios, it's great to see a good sense of color, draftsmanship, people that can paint. Color is a huge thing. Color theory, the effect of color on mood, and that sort of thing. So make sure your color, your strength, your color strength is strong. And if it's not, then lean on your design strengths, such for character design, and and get into your black and white stuff, but focus on those, the designs of your characters and that sort of thing, and not worry about the color so much if it's not strong. One thing is, people think that if they put more stuff in, then it's going to look like it's better, and at the end of the day, it's not. Put your strongest stuff in. It's better to have less good stuff than a whole bunch of mediocre stuff, okay? And I can tell you, having been a guy that's gone through thousands of portfolios at Disney, once I get through that second or third page, I already know if this is somebody that I'm going to continue looking at, or if I'm going to close the portfolio and move it aside and move on to the next one. Because a lot of times we review these portfolios during lunchtime, and we've got an hour, maybe an hour and a half to go through sometimes 50 or 60 portfolios. And so you want to have your best stuff right up front, and you want to have just the right amount, not too much. Okay? So I hope that helps a little bit. Not much of a drawing lesson today, but a little bit of advice coming from a guy that's been doing it for a long time, and I've looked at a lot of portfolios, and I've hired from looking at a lot of portfolios. So please, please, please take my advice. Good drawing, good figure, good animal drawings, versatility, good color, and good draftsmanship, good design, and that sort of thing. Those are the things that you want in your visual development portfolio. Okay, so next week I'll probably have a little drawing lesson, or maybe an animation lesson, but good luck in your job hunts, and I really take this advice, put together a good, strong, to the point portfolio, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye.